everybody, Kelly here from HairFit. I'm here with Denise Melton to talk to you a little bit today about mental health, because it's this time over the COVID and stress and trauma and things like that. A lot of people are suffering from anxiety, and all these can actually influence your hair growth. It can, depression, anxiety, gut health. So I just wanted to touch base with an expert on what we should be thinking about in these times.
Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, so if you're feeling anxious or depressed or under a lot of stress, that's going to affect your levels of adrenaline, noradrenaline and cortisol that's flowing in the bloodstream. And this actually destroys your hair follicle. So your hair can get thin and brittle. You can get really dry split ends because the more depressed, anxious you are, this affects your gut health. So the more leaky your gut becomes, the less you're able to absorb your nutrients, the less nutrients available. It actually affects your hair, not only your hair, but your skin, nails, everything. So yeah, it's really important to take care of your mental health.
So what would be the next stage? So if somebody's worried about their hair loss and maybe they are stressed, what should we do? Do we get tested, or how do we find out what's the...
So if you think that you may have some digestive issues, some gut issues that are affecting your absorption of nutrients, even though you're eating really healthy, we can do a stool analysis, which is a tricky test to do because you have to collect your stool sample, but it's really gives us a lot of information about what's going on in the gut, what bacteria there, what inflammation is there, if there's any parasites or yeasts.
Yeah. So then after that, once we've done that and we've worked out, what would you do then? What would be the next step so
Yeah, so if you have a leaky gut or you have some intolerances, it's obviously healing the gut and the liver. That's basically the first place we start, because if you're not absorbing things, as you know, you can be taking the best supplements but they're just going down the toilet. So that's where we start, especially with the liver. The liver's usually very toxic, especially if you've been stressed for a long time, because all those emotions actually get stored in the liver. The liver has to deal with them. So that's where we'd start.
Right, and then what's the next step after that? So how do you, so once we've started that and we've found out the problem and we've worked out the solution, what's the next step after that? Do you test again, or...?
So we don't necessarily need to test the gut unless you're still having some issues. We may test the hair to see, now that you are absorbing, what nutrients are you still lacking if you're still having issues with with hair loss.
Yeah. So it's amazing that you can actually test everything through your hair. Your hair will tell all the stories. If you haven't had a hair test, it tests for minerals, lots of deficiencies, toxins and things like that. So I would highly recommend having a hair test. You can have that done at Mind and Body, and book in now if you're wondering what's going on with your body. Get a hair test.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. Clicker's gone.